Cookies, and welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He's the author of the book You Are Not Alone, no other than Mr. Doug Lawrence. Welcome to Book 101, Mr. Dog, and can you please introduce more about yourself?
I certainly can do that. And thank you very much for the opportunity to be on your podcast. I appreciate that. I'm, excuse me, I'm Doug Lawrence. I'm a retired Royal Canadian Mounted Police officer, having served 25 years. And as a result of my time in the police force, I ended up with post traumatic stress and ended up having to deal with that. Um, I've been in leadership roles and that I've probably got in excess of 30 years of leadership experience. I started my own company, Talent C, in the fall of 2009. And um, it started out as mentoring and mentor certification, and it's evolved since then to actually be where I have now demonstrated how mentoring can be part of the support structure for mental health. So that's a longer version of who I am, but that's me.
Mr. Doug Lawrence, thank you so much for sharing your talents to the world. So, what does the phrase you're not alone mean when applied to mental health support?
So one of the stigmatisms that we have to deal with today is the aspect that um, people are afraid to reach out and ask for help. So the analogy that I use is that people are locked in their closet and are afraid to open the door and extend their hand and say, I need help. And the idea behind you are not alone is that you don't need to be keeping yourself locked up in the closet, that there are people out there that will actually help you, will work with you, will walk beside you, that will listen and hear what it is that you're saying when it comes to your mental health and your mental well-being. And so that's how we came up with or how I came up with the title You Are Not Alone.
How can a mental health mentors provide a sense of companionship during challenging times?
You mean how can they?
Yes.
Okay, so picture you're an individual who's got some mental health issues, some challenges and stuff like that. And so you go to see the psychologist, psychiatrist, and they work their magic and stuff like that. But what happens is they say, I need to see you again, but I need to see you in, make an appointment to come back and see me. And it's probably going to be 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 months. Well, the mental health mentor, or we'll go with that term, the mental health mentor, is somebody that can be there for that person who is struggling, dealing with their healing journey. So you're walking beside that person, you're listening and hearing what it is that they have to say. You're non-judgmental, so you don't pass judgment on anything they say or do. And the idea behind it is that it's the conversation that you have with that person is confidential in nature. And so they develop a trusted relationship with you. And that's how all of this all shapes together. And if you if we could if there were ways that we could make that pot of people a whole lot bigger, people that just listen and hear, that are non-judgmental, that build trusting relationship, if we could do that, we would be able to help so many different people in their quest for a healing journey, and to be able to do that.
And congratulations, Mr. Doug, for being Amazon bestseller and, of course, Global Book Awardee. So we are looking forward for more empowering books like this. What qualities make an effective mental health mentor, and how do these qualities benefit those they support?
So the qualities that I know that I'm searching, always searching, looking for are individuals that um, can build trusting relationships more than anything else. So to be able to build a trusting relationship, having the skill sets to be an effective communicator. So somebody that can listen and hear what it is that you know. I just when I think back to when I was still in the RCM in the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and I think of the number of times that having somebody that I could just turn to that would listen and hear what it is that I have to say, it was an insurmountable number of opportunities for something like that to take place. So being an effective communicator, so listening and hearing what the other person is saying, being able to build relationships, being able to build trust, those are all key components of what I would expect from a mental health mentor. And what if I was on the receiving end of that, what I would be looking for as certainly as the mentee or a person receiving mentoring is the fact that um, I can trust this person. I can almost to the extent of saying, here I'm putting my mental health, my mental well-being in your hands, and I'm letting you help guide me where I need to go, so that I know that we're working together. We're going to build this trusting relationship, and based on that trusting relationship and the various levels that it's at, we're going to be able to accomplish so much more together.
So, Mr. Doug, how does having a mentor influence one's perception of isolation during mental health struggles?
The the aspect of and I need to take us back probably to the time frame when we were still struggling or dealing with COVID, and how COVID had created that isolation, not only just in smaller groups but in larger groups. And it became very mentally challenging. It became very um, from a psychological perspective, it was very difficult for people to be able to deal with that. And that placed it was extra challenging. It was a bigger burden for the mentor who was trying to help people, because they were struggling with, now they had to create this relationship and be able to make it work. And it just seemed it took more effort and everything else. And the person being mentored was constantly reaching out, stretching out and reaching and saying, I need your help, I need your guidance. And you know, it became even more noticeable when it came to dealing with the aspect of grief being part of the mental health story itself as well. Was that a lot of people suffered a lot more than they really needed to, simply because of COVID putting that barricade or that obstacle, so that they could not communicate effectively or as effective as they would like.
Very well said, Mr. Doug. Very well said. And what are some real life examples of successful mentor mentee relationships in mental health care?
there would be I work with a number of different people at various stages in a relationship, in a mentoring relationship, and so examples of that, I I think the one that seems to stand out, and it was mental health to maybe a lesser degree, but what it was by working with the individual, building the trusting relationship, and all those things. And then I got invited to this person's wedding because they felt that they could. Their basic position was, I can't imagine having a wedding without you being there. So I had developed a significant level of trust and understanding, and as a result of that, they, the husband and wife, showed or demonstrated their kindness and their acceptance of the fact that I had become an integral part of their relationship, of their family. And it was because of that that we were able to deal with, certainly some mental health issues that they were dealing with. There was, the aspect of uh, self esteem, self confidence, self worth, all of those pieces to that puzzle. That was important to them. And if it's important to them, it's important to me as well.
Certainly. And how do mental health mentors use to help individuals build resilience and coping skills?
Well, the most important thing, and that's a good question because I've been dealing with that here just the last 2 3 days, where it's all about giving them the tools, the coping skills that they need to build resilience in how they're going to deal with what it is that they're struggling to include as part of their healing journey. The resilience part, I find that even for myself, I need to be able to work on that and my own coping mechanisms as well. In fact, I was just at my family doctor here just this afternoon, and that was one of the things that she said to me was that I've noticed that you have been able to uh, develop coping skills to be able to deal with the challenges that you're facing. And part of my conversation with her revolved around the aspect of um, mental health, grief. I lost my wife to cancer in 2021, and so I'm still dealing with the grief. And she recognized that, and so we had a conversation about resilience and coping skills, and the significance and importance of being able to, number one, recognize when you're going down that slippery slope and you need help, and then number two is to be accepting, or actually accept the aspect of uh, that you don't have to go on this journey by yourself. You are not alone. You can reach out and ask for help, and somebody will be there. And in my case, it's my family doctor that uh, has said, if you need, if we need to have a conversation, we'll certainly do that.
Definitely. So, Mr. Doug, how can mentorship programs be structured to ensure a supportive environment for those in need?
Good question, because that's one of the things that a lot of mentoring programs do not have in place today is a support structure to help all their employees deal with mental health challenges. I can I remember a conversation I had with a young lady who was working in one of our more prominent organizations here in the city. And what ended up happening in the conversation was she ended up identifying some mental health issues that one of her coworkers was having. but when she raised it to the attention of the senior management in the organization, she got pushback. They were reluctant to reach out and provide a support structure as part of their mentorship program to provide that support structure to help this employee to be able to move forward. And it wasn't going to take a lot of time, effort, and money. It was just going to take the commitment of individuals to be able to say, I'm here, I'm listening, I'm hearing, and I can help. I want to walk beside you. You are not alone.
So, Mr. Doug, what will be your advice for those people out there having a mental health breakdown?
They need to reach out for help. Um, your healing journey that you need to go on or want to go on is something that you do not have to go on your own to do it. So you need to reach out. That's if there's nothing else, and cast aside the stigmatism that is attached to mental health, which is you must obviously be a crazy person if you're suffering from mental health issues. That's not the case. You need to look at it from the aspect of that you're dealing with a number of different things, whether it's post traumatic stress. There's a whole long list of different things that you may be struggling or dealing with. And we don't truly understand the whole aspect of how grief fits into that as well. And it's another key element or key piece to the whole mental health story is the aspect of grief.
Great advice, Mr. Dog. So, what are your short term and long term goals in writing?
In writing,
Yeah.
I so I have another book that is going to be published on the 20th of April. It's today. Uh, it's with it's the Amazon pre-sale part. So the book is available through Amazon. So you can pre-order it. So and it while I didn't plan it, you would think that it was planned that way because what's happening is that this book, You Are Not Alone, has laid the foundation for this next book that we're launching in April, and uh, that was never the intent or the plan, and that's what's materializing. So for me, that's a long term. It's been a long term project. Where was writing this next book and getting it to the point where we could actually publish it, get it published, and that. So I'm going to say that's my in between my long term and short term, and then I'm not sure. I've promised myself that I'm going to take a bit of a break from writing and then take a step back after that and sort of ask myself, where do I want to go next with my writing career?
Good luck to your goals, Mr. Dog, and looking forward for the new book to come. You are most welcome to come back and promote here on Book 101 Review. So, in what ways can mental health mentors empower individuals to take proactive steps in their self care journey?
Well, I think that you've touched on the answer to the question, which is self-care is actually extremely important, and we don't do enough of that as individuals, whether it be in relationship to a mental health mentor or not. You You are accountable for your well-being, and you need to be able to put things in place that are going to help deal with, your mental health issues. And always remember that, number one, you are not alone. Number two is that you don't need to go on this journey by yourself.
Yes, people, if you need help, please ask for help. How does the mentor mentee dynamic evolve over time as a trust and understanding deepen?
The thing that I find that I do as one of my techniques or processes, for lack of a better choice of words, is that I share my personal story. So I share a lot of my lived experiences that I've had, and I use that as a way of demonstrating it's okay to open up and share. And I do that. And what I find is when I do that and do it on a consistent basis, that the individual has a level of trust with me, and together the two of us can move forward dealing with their mental health journey.
So, Mr. Dog, before we're gonna wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, Food 101, in its fifth season. People, fifth season already, the same with Book 101 review with my co host, Chef Alessandro, one of the specialty chef in one of the five-star hotel in downtown Toronto. So, please do listen to our latest episode. We talk about, or we read all our letter senders all over the world. So please do listen. Food 101. What measures can be taken to ensure that the message "you are not alone" reaches those who might be struggling silently?
Just being on your show today, we will have reached out and touched a large number of individuals that would be they would be wandering aimlessly, trying to find a way to get help, trying to find a way that they can uh, find somebody who's going to be able to be part of their mental health journey, and it's through that, and you promoting mental health just as a topic by itself. That's what's going to make a difference.
Definitely. Speaking of mental health, people, I have a new baby podcast called Mental Health 101. Please do listen to it because Mr. Doug Lawrence is one of the contributor of this podcast. So, Mr. Doug Lawrence, thank you so much for sharing your talents to the world. And we are looking forward for more empowering books like this. And according to my analytics, Book 101 reviews belong to 10% popular show globally with 154 countries listening to this podcast. So, Mr. Doug Lawrence, can you please invite our listeners to support your book?
Yes, by all means, it's available on Amazon.com and Amazon.ca. And I sincerely hope that today sparked you enough to want to go and acquire a copy of You Are Not Alone.
Yes, people! Award winning and best selling author Mr. Doug Lawrence is on Book 101 review. So, Mr. Doug, thank you for your time.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Modicon people, see you soon. So, Mr. Doug, if you want to come back next week, either on